Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRFBets race of the day for Sunday, September the 15th. Race number 7 at Woodbine, the Grade 1 Summer Stakes for 2-year-olds going a mile on the turf. You can play this race on the nice card at Woodbine on Sunday with a DRFBets account. Nice deposit match offer. Deposit $150, bet with $300. Sign up is easy at drf.com/bet. Let's meet the field for the Grade 1 Summer. You can download free Formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them, handicap along with us. We'll take this field in post-position order, beginning with the number 1, Vitology, shipping in from overseas for trainer Joseph O'Brien. Lasix on. First start against winners came at York last time out, which is a left-handed course, very similar to many North American courses. Let's watch that Group 3 a Cum Stakes right now, and this horse just sort of finishes evenly. Third from the left on your screen right now, finishing 4th. Good performance. Lasix on. It'll be interesting to see how far this son of No Nay Never wants to go.
Yeah, I thought this race was okay, and maybe even a step forward off of his debut where he sort of upset a bigger field. I thought he ran well in this race, but it didn't really make me want to bet him back in a Grade 1 over here.
But he's a European horse that would benefit if the pace is fast, and in these 2-year-old races, often the pace is solid. Let's take a look at the Time Form US Pace Projector. A little bit surprised to see the 6 Mystic Lancelot out there on the lead over the 5 Keep On Truckin', but the pace is expected to be fast. I wouldn't be surprised if Keep On Truckin' makes the lead. There are a couple of other horses in here with speed. Vitology, of course, doesn't have a chiclet, being a European runner. Let's talk about the 2, Decorated Invader. This colt's run well both times for West Point Thoroughbreds and Christophe Clement. I got a formulator fact, by the way, for this horse. Trainer Christophe Clement over the past 5 years, 2-year-old last out maiden winners in turf routes. He's 4 for 13 with over an $8 ROI. And Decorated Invader looked like a stake source, I thought, in his most recent race at Saratoga. We swing into the stretch, and there he is on the outside. This was a pretty solid pace that he was tracking. He makes the lead, and he keeps on going.
Yeah, this was an impressive win. This is a horse who ran at least as well as the winner did in his debut, just didn't have the perfect trip that horse did, and he just took another step forward in this race. He wins this race very easily. As you say, it was close to a pretty solid pace, too. He should have a pretty good setup in this race.
I mean, it doesn't get more visually impressive than that. This horse was merely breezing the last 16th of a mile, didn't take a deep breath in beating those horses. He is a good fit in this race at 9-2 on the morning line. Proven Strategies is going to try to stretch back out. He's tried a route of ground once before. That was a maiden race 2 starts back, and he broke great in that race, but was very rank as he was being raided back into that pocket position. I thought he ran okay in that race. Maybe he took a step forward in the Skidmore when turned back last time out. Let's swing into the stretch of that race. Proven Strategies was a big price. He is the number 2 in here. He's on the outside. He's just getting straightened out right now, and he's going to get up for second in this spot behind another Miracle who looks like he's got a little bit of potential. To me, this is a big step up in class.
Yeah, I sort of agree with you. I mean, I respect the fact that this horse has, sort of improved with each start so far, but he's still a maiden. It's not like you can go through his races and make a bunch of excuses for him. He's just sort of slowly improving, and he's really got to improve again to beat this field.
Couple of horses coming out of the Soaring Free Stakes at Woodbine on August the 18th. Please Call Me Back finished 2nd. Cucina finished 3rd. I have to admit, I really didn't love this race, but Roger Attfield, Hall of Fame trainer, is going to put blinkers on Please Call Me Back. Let's watch that race as we turn into the stretch. Please Call Me Back is the number 4 sitting in 3rd right now. White hat, lime green silks. Just to her outside is Cucina, and they kind of finish evenly in here, Mike. I think they got to do better.
Yeah, I do too. This was yielding ground. If you want to sort of give them an excuse, for the way that they had to run over that, softer turf course, you can. The horse that won the race is another Affid horse who's pretty good, Mr. Hustle. I don't know. I thought Please Call Me Back ran well enough in this race. I thought he ran really well in his debut. He seems like he has some upside, this horse.
The 5 is Keep On Truckin', and really talent I don't think is an issue with Keep On Truckin'. It's a question of how far does he want to go and whether he wants to go on turf. Both of his races have been on synthetic, and he hasn't been headed in either one. This is just a demolishing job of his most recent start, the Clarendon demolition of 3 other horses. He just went right to the front, made him pay, but this race came back very fast. A 92 Beyer speed figure. He probably has to go faster to make the lead in here, but I think Eurico Rosa de Silva is going to put him on the front.
I think he's going to be on the front too. He's been super impressive in his 2 synthetic races to start his career. I mean, you feel like he's going to handle turf based on his pedigree, his dam, a sister to Pro Forma, who's a really good turf sprinter. I don't know. I think there's plenty of pedigree for this horse to handle the surface switch.
Mystic Lancelot goes out for trainer Todd Pletcher. Formulator fact for Todd: past 4 years, 2-year-old last out maiden winners on turf, 5 for 11, an ROI of $4.78. And I like what this horse did in his debut at Saratoga. I know it was only a 5.5 furlong race, but as we turn into the stretch, Johnny Velasquez has got to get this horse straightened out a little bit. He's down towards the inside. Now he's going to get to the outside, and he's going to run down this horse, and not only run down this horse, but he's extending at the end. He is bred to get a mile, and I think he's going to work out a candy trip sitting off the pace on the outside while in the clear.
I agree with that. I like the last eighth of a mile this horse put in his debut there. He really ran at the end of that race. I think he's dangerous coming right back.
Big price on the 7, Zoological, by Kentucky Derby winner Animal Kingdom. This horse is at least won at Woodbine at a mile over the E.P. Taylor turf course, and he did so with a 71 Beyer, but it was against a weak bunch of maidens, in my opinion. We turn into the stretch here, and we see Zoological, the number 5, and this horse is just going to have to fight it out in between horses. It's a game performance for Zoological, but you're going to have to do better.
Yeah, I agree with that. I respect the fact that this horse has sort of slowly improved with every start so far, but I think he's, going to have to improve again in this race. I think he's found a pretty tough field here.
We talked a little bit about Cucina before. Maybe didn't like the yielding ground in the turf debut. They thought enough to run this horse in the Sanford on dirt at Saratoga on opening weekend. I think this one's okay. I like the performance this horse gave at Belmont over a sloppy track. Maybe he's going to handle turf. Mark Casse, 15-1 on the morning line for Cucina. Needs to move forward a little bit from a fig standpoint.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, I can't say I love him in this race, but I do like him as a horse. I think he's actually run some nice races. He's got a very versatile pedigree. He's supposed to be able to stretch out. At a price, you could do worse than this. I think he's going to take a step forward. We
talked about Secret Stash in the Natalma Stakes preview. She's cross-entered there, maybe slightly better fit in that spot. First time for Mark Casse off the purchase by Gary Barber. These are very sharp connections. The horse she beat last time's come back to win 2 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, she's run well in both of her races. I feel like she fits better in the Philly race.
The 10 is Talking. This is a son of Union Rags that likes turf, and there aren't that many Union Rags that seem to like the turf. This horse did just fine in his career debut, going 2 turns at Monmouth. Let's watch that race right now. Not a big pace, sat outside, and he's just taken over right now and is on his way to a professional score. The runner-up in here is a filly who came back to win by over 15 lengths in an off-the-turf race when dropped in against members of her own sex. I think Talking has a lot of upside potential, and I'm assuming that this performance was more the Dynaformer on the bottom side of the pedigree than the Union Rags.
I agree with that. I mean, the trip that this horse had was a really good one, but he also really ran through the stretch, and he's got pedigree on the bottom. I think he's pretty dangerous.
Cadet Connolly scored last time out over the Tapeta surface at Woodbine. Very gutty effort, going 1.70 miles. We know distance isn't an issue, but this horse has to improve by leaps and bounds from a speed figure standpoint.
He's a very game horse, but I don't like him in this race.
Let's take a look at our top selections for this race. So many different ways to go. Listen, we saw Decorated Invaders last 1/8 of a mile. That was a big performance at a distance of ground, and it really just depends how he's going to ship up here. 9-2 is a very fair price.
And that's what I thought. I like both of his races so far. He's a fair price on the morning line. The distance is no problem.
If Keep On Truckin' stays at 4-1, considering the talent he's shown in his first two starts, I think that's just about right. I wouldn't want to take much less because he is stretching all the way out and switching to turf, but I think he's going to get to the lead here, and I'm not sure it's going to be a red bar, fast-paced scenario that Timeform US has it. He might be in control turning into the stretch. I'm interested in him. Obviously, Decorated Invader is a major contender. I want to see what Vitology, though, does, coming in for Joseph O'Brien from Europe. So I'll go 5-1 in the Grade 1 Summer. It's your DRFBets race of the day. Consider this new deposit match offer from our friends at DRFBets. Deposit $150, start firing away with 300 bones. DRF.com/bets where you go for all the details. Approximate post time for the Grade 1 Summer, 4:43 Eastern. Good luck.